What's good with it, everyone? No introduction needed. Welcome to Nation United New Media. Thank you for your patience. As you know, when you work for someone, you're usually late. So, uh, peace and blessings to everyone in the chat. Today, we will be giving flowers to all the fathers. I mean, all the fathers around the world who help instill guidance to all the men and women out there. Um, This is why fathers are important, not just in sports, but in life. When you watch a father go through the ups and downs and the rigors of the world, and you see how he has to overcome so much just to make something of himself, that kid watches him and learns how to be a fighter, learns how to survive the US of A, the world we're living in. He learns this by looking at his father. Today at work, I realized that all the lessons my father told me was true. When you work for someone, you're never free. You're never free because they're the only ones that can give you what you want, which is what? Money, stability. But you see that same guy creating his own business, and he may not be rich, but he has his own, just like the guy with his own land. He may not be a millionaire, but it's his own. And when you look at fathers like these on the thumbnail, you see brothers who exemplifies a ruling class mentality. These brothers are not yes man. They don't shuck and jive just to get a bag. LeVar Ball never had these Nikes and Adidas come in and try to pimp their kids in the AU circuit. None of that shit happens. This is what happens when you have a father. So ESPN, Fox Sports 1, and all the buffoon networks, they could go around these drafts and big events and shun the father, interview the mother over the father, make up stories. They made up a story of Jason Tatum saying he grew up in a single parent home. When you find out Jason Tatum's father was around, it's just that it wasn't a two-parent home. But old media poisons our mind. They tell us things that should be true that isn't true. And like Brett Law says, F old media. Exactly. I'm tired of old media. I'm tired of them trying to emasculate our people. I'm sick of the shit. Every time I see ESPN in their virtualistic interviews, I want to throw my shoe at the damn TV. But we're here to give you the truth. I want to say shout out to Kyrie's father. Shout out to John Morant's father. Shout out to Drew Holiday's father for raising 3 boys into the NBA. His sons are educated. They're well-mannered. They give back to the community, especially Drew Holiday. John Morant's father was hard-nosed on his son. I remember an interview that John Morant's father told Ja that nothing would be easy. I would not praise you all the time. I would not elevate you by bringing up your name, his name to his friends and everybody else. He was tough on Ja, but it all paid off. And that's how John Morant won the Rookie of the Year. Fathers are needed. And to the women that are listening, you understand fathers are needed too. Candace Parker's father was needed. Serena Williams, she needed her father, Richard Williams, to give her the racket so she could play tennis. Same with Venus Williams. They would not be that successful if it wasn't for their pops. And even though the old media tried to vilify Richard Williams, they did the same thing to him that they did to LeVar. Even though they tried to do that, his daughters were still successful. Asaka's father, same thing. So all I got to say is tonight, this is a night of empowerment and gratitude that fathers are around. We will appreciate fathers on this channel.
You know, DJ, that was great, my brother. How you doing, Rev?
How you doing, Coach?
Good.
Good.
I want to say hello to the room, to all the brothers and sisters that came in tonight, that are here now, and came to support new media, Nation United, DJ's Raw and Cut Truth. Well, we come here to tell the truth and talk about what a lot of people don't get because they don't really know that there is a difference. There can be a difference. We can make a difference. We don't have to just listen to the same old, accept the same old, same old. We're in a different world now. See, and this topic is near and dear to my heart because I was adopted as a kid. I'm gonna just tell y'all full stop. I never met my biological father to this day. Don't know who he is, what he is, don't know nothing about it. Met my biological mother, biological brothers and sisters. But my father who took me in and raised me, my mother that took me in and raised me, who adopted me, he did the best that he could possibly do. He gave me a fire that I still have to this day. And so I've been watching because I've been around sports. I've had the benefit, the Most High has blessed me to put a lot of beautiful, amazing men in my life. My second dad was a coach. That's where I got the desire to want to be a coach. Looked after me and took care of me and did things for me just like I was one of his kids, one of his sons. He had 3 sons. Never made me feel like I was less than. I remember when I started my first corporate job, got a package in the mail. He sent me shirts and ties and a couple suits. Wanted me to look nice, wanted me to look straight, be prepared. See, look good. So he taught me of that a man knows that he's the seed. See, and that the woman is the earth. And that when we come together, we make life. We need those components to come together to make life. I tell young brothers and I tell men all the time when I talk to them, love your seeds. Remember, these are your seeds. Be kind to the earth who brought them into this world. But know that those are your seeds. And if you abuse them, if you take advantage of them, if you don't look after them properly, that just means you're not looking after you. That means you ain't loving you properly. Because they are your seed. Fortunate to have 4 seeds come from me. I got 4 girls. I'm a girl dad like Kobe. And my son, who I adopted when he was little, as like I was adopted, made me want to go out and do something for somebody else that was done for me. See, so when I watch the NBA and football and professional sports and stuff, and I see the drafts and all these momentous occasions that happen, I'm very much paying attention. I want to see if they're gonna highlight the fathers. I want to see if they're gonna be honest about that path, that journey that they have been on, and how they have shepherded them and looked after them like LeVar did. Raise his boys, cook for his boys, train his boys, bring their friends in as well. This is a community, giving them a great model, showing them exactly how to be. But yet here we turn around because he's an entrepreneur and trying to sell his business and trying to support his sons. Ain't hurting nobody. Giving opinions that people don't like, and all of a sudden it turns into, I hate him. What kind of nonsense is that? This man put 2 boys, 2 young men in the NBA, top 3, have never been done. All these drafts, I talked about it the other day. Over 2,400 something people drafted. Never 2 drafted that high. And we all know that Melo would have went higher had not some shenanigans went on. But they will rue the day that they didn't pick Melo, though. Hear me, Golden State? You hear me, Minnesota? I know you do. So, it's a topic I'm a cook about. It's just something that's real near and dear to my heart. It needs to be pointed out, because the way that LeVar has been treated, the way that Richard Williams has been treated, they didn't get treated like Archie Manning got treated and Buddy Ryan got treated. These white brothers, they didn't get treated like they got treated. When Archie Manning's son didn't want to play for a certain team at the draft, his dad said, he ain't going there. You drafted my son to sit out, go to camp. They didn't vilify him, call him anti-NFL, call him a ridiculous loud mouth. No, they didn't do none of that. They thought about it, started talking about it. Buddy Ryan was known to be not a very nice guy, not a very nice coach, not very hospitable to his team, not treating the players with respect, always had a bunch of nonsense to say. They took that, turned it around, made it into something nice. Sons get an opportunity to coach. See? So, these are facts that we coming with tonight. And fire we coming with tonight. Because we're sick of seeing this. And this is not a bashing of the moms. Let's keep it real. You heard what I said. The mothers of the earth. We are the seed. Seed needs the earth. I'm going to pass to you, Rev.
Shout out to DJ. Shout out to Coach. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in right now. Y'all share the video on Twitter and all social media platforms so we could push through the algorithm. These 2 brothers, they really laid the foundation for what we talking about tonight, man. Think about what DJ was saying with Ja Morant's father and some of the things that, if you know what it took to get Ja Morant's body type ready for the NBA. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the tallest guy. And, up until his 10th grade year, he wasn't the most athletic either. So his father used to get out there with him and make him do the monster truck tires. he would have to flip them and flip them and flip them. Then he would have to flip them going towards heels and things of that nature. And that basically, built his lower body up and help him gain the bounce that he got. To be that dedicated with a kid who's not at the time considered a superstar prospect, no sure return on investment of your time, not knowing if it's going to pan out, not knowing if Ja Morant, his career could have ended at Morgan State. He was only a 3-star recruit. So with that being said, to see that father get out there and do what he did and push through the doubts in his own mind and the doubts that I'm sure Ja had as well is a testimony to love and parenthood. Like, they always talk bad about LeVar for how much he speaks up his children and the supreme confidence that he has in himself and his children. But that's what being a parent is about. It's about fortitude, fortifying young minds and guiding them to the point where they can do, what they need to do to build a successful life for themselves. And without strong belief, without that person in your corner, a lot of people struggle. I remember Scott Brooks just a couple of weeks ago talking about LaMelo's game and talking about LeVar Ball and giving LeVar Ball his flowers. And then he turned around and said, really it makes, I wish I had a father. For all of those that say that LeVar is being overzealous, and I'm not quoting quote by quote here, but this is the gist of what he said. For all of those who are overly critical about LeVar, try not having a father and try not having somebody to believe in you. So it really is amazing to see what these brothers are doing in this day and age, really holding down their children, getting them to a level of success. And then once they get them to the level of success, being able to guide them. We don't see enough light being shed on this. So, it's imperative that here on New Media Nation United, DJ's Raw Uncut Truth, that we get the flowers where the flowers are due.
Yeah, shout out to Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. I believe the only father-son duo to play on the same team, which is amazing. Don't forget, Ken Griffey Jr. came out of high school. Yeah, he was a beast. But yeah, shout out to the ladies in the chat, ladies that are listening who understands what we're talking about. When we talk about strength of a man, strength of masculine energy, doesn't mean anti-woman. Because even Storm from that Tupac song, she was like, even though it's a man's world, which she's admitting to it, she also reiterates, real women make the shit go round. That's true. A good man cannot survive without a good woman. A good woman cannot survive without a good man. And I tell you right now, man, the best quality that my mother had was she allowed my father to be a man. She allowed my father to teach us the right way. In the same way, my father treated my mother like a queen. Perfect marriage. As you know, marriages are never perfect, but I saw what it looks like. When I say it, family, a husband and wife working through things. It made a big impact in my life. It truly did. And when I look at how LeVar sacrificed everything for Tina Ball, gave her the world, gave her top-notch therapists. And I remember old media was criticizing LeVar, saying he's not doing good enough. in regards to Tina Ball's therapy. They don't understand when you have a stroke, there's different levels to it. It takes years for people. You can have the best facility, the best money in the world, and it still would not speed up the process.
Facts.
So many idiots came on here, not here, but on social media and posted some crap. Now, I'm not comparing situations because it was different, but when I watched the movie Judas and the Black Messiah, and I still think they needed American actors on that, but that's another discussion for a different day. When I watched that movie, they were trying to have people who were agents who snuck into the Black Panther Party. They were trying to have Fred Hampton look like a bad guy. They would try to make lies and stuff. They would try to say Fred Hampton did drugs. That never happened. They would try to say Fred Hampton was an abuser. Never happened. They try to do everything, and it didn't work. Unfortunately, the powers that be took his life. Now, to the modern day, they've been making up stories about LeVar. They try to have it seem like LeVar was trying to flirt with Molly Carroll. If anybody knows LeVar, the main thing he's thinking about is having his boys on the same team. Shoot, he talks about it every day. But you have old media vilify a black man. They don't like masculinity. They definitely do not like black masculinity. Sarah Spain, another anti-male, aka anti-black male, vilify LeVar, called him a cretin, said that LeVar is mentally abusing his son's lives. Christine Leahy said that as well, that LeVar is ruining the kid's life and not giving his kids freedom. Funny, LaMelo has, at 16, he had a Lamborghini. He was able to do what other high schoolers couldn't do. Travel around. But you mean to tell me that LeVar Ball ruined their son's childhood? This is a woman that doesn't even have kids. And Christine Leahy. Oh, I'm going there. This is the type of woman that nobody has even wifed up. So how in the hell are you going to give your opinion on a married man and you're not even married yourself? You don't know what it's like to be married. You don't know what it's like to be Tina Ball, who is loyal. Yeah, I went there. I told you this is this is DJ's Raw and Cut Truth. We are not hiding anything. Rap God said Leahy is 34 years old, got no kids, and has never been married. Pathetic. Sarah Spain, 30 plus years old, not married. And they got the nerve to tell other women how to be good wives and what mates they should have. And they're not even in that position. They're a bunch of hypocrites. And they work for the biggest hypocrite of all, ESPN. Jason Whitlock. How is this big ass giving relationship advice? I ain't never seen this dude with a woman. Like, how is that possible? I'll rest my case.
That I had to laugh at that one, DJ. Wow. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. You know, we gotta get some more dads some flowers. You know, and even some moms. You know what I mean? I gotta shout out to Isaiah Thomas's mom because she played mom. She brought the shotgun out the house when the gang members came to get her sons. She came to the door with the shotgun. No, 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 no. You ain't taking my boy no goddamn where. And they backed off. See, this is the type of stuff that we've had to deal with in our neighborhood. See, many moms had to be dad and mom because of stuff that we've already articulated and stuff that we haven't. This is a prison industrial complex that has incarcerated over 1 million of our people. Read a story about a brother in jail, been in prison for 18, 19 years, so stealing $9. $9. Tell me what sense that makes in any doggone world. See, Barry Bonds, they tried to vilify him and vilify his son. See, Kyrie's dad, they got negative things to say about him all the time. And part of it is how they talk about his boy. See. And then our boy LeVar. What is his big crime? What is LeVar Ball's big crime? Saying Lonzo is better than Steph Curry. Wow. That really must have hurt Steph Curry's feelings. Oh my God. It hurt Steph's feelings. No, it didn't. Saying that his son is on par with this person or that person, saying he could beat Michael Jordan. Whatever he said, their words, entertainment. Since when is being entertaining and saying stuff that clearly anybody in their right mind can see he ain't being serious, he's being hyperbolic, can take something like that and words like that and make those words seem like murder, some kind of crime. To this day, right now, his son is Melo is in the draft. I mean, it was in the draft, in the league, balling out. And he can't get a sniff nowhere. Got his kids speaking, trying to manipulate his children to speak against him. As I heard Melo reminding them, my parents raised a killer like my dad. Reminding them, when you come for him, you come for me. See, it's a writer that writes for that Charlotte Observer. Scott Fowler, I think his name is. Wrote this hit piece on Melo before the draft. Talking about they shouldn't draft him if he have opportunity. He ain't gonna be worth nothing, blah, blah, blah. And mostly talking crap about his father. Just had to write a retraction piece. It's on there now. You can go, anybody can go and look at it yourself. Had to write a retraction piece. How I made a mistake. But he still tried to have it both ways. On one hand, I made a mistake. I was wrong about Melo, but that doesn't mean he's doing everything right. Who in the hell does everything right in life? Who the hell walks on water? No, that's that hate for the black man. That's what that is.
Coach Joe.
Yes.
You know what's so pathetic about how they diss the family dynamic and diss brothers. Bruce Jenner, and I know he changed his name to Caitlyn Jenner. They nominated the Caitlyn, quote unquote, as Woman of the Year. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Look how happy they were.
Absolutely.
This is history. This is momentous. And don't forget, quote unquote, Caitlyn, at that time, had Woman of the Year and didn't even have the full surgery, which is the crazy part. Yeah, I'm breaking gems today. So I'm playing their games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because usually they say, well, they had the surgery, treat them like women. I don't play their games. Did y'all know that, quote unquote, Caitlyn Jenner didn't have the surgery? And they just gave the dude Woman of the Year. How disrespectful to the successful women out there, Serena, Venus, Candace Parker, and many others. I mean, the list goes on. Sue Bird. They gave a guy a Woman of the Year award, a white man, over qualified sisters who've been putting in work through the years. My mother looked at that. She was like, she couldn't believe it. People on social media that day, Coach, was condemning those who had an opinion, saying you're wrong to criticize. No, we're right to criticize that they gave a white man a Woman of the Year award over accomplished black women. Aquarian Warrior says Serena almost died giving birth. Correct.
Correct. Facts.
But they gave a white man in a dress who never had the surgery, Woman of the Year. So not only they're trying to emasculate brothers, they're disrespecting our sisters. They're not fooling me. The jig is up. And that's why on this channel, New Media, Nation United, we will always preach masculinity, love for the community, care for our sisters and women, and strength. So you hate LeVar Ball for having his opinion, being loud. But Bruce Caitlyn Jenner is the example of a good person. What type of game we're playing? This sounds like a minstrel show that ESPN is doing. Brett Law says this conversation would never be talked about on ESPN owned by Disney. Yeah, they're bought and paid for. And yeah, Fox is owned by the Murdochs. Yeah, bought and paid for. It's a pendulum of foolishness.
With an agenda, though.
Right.
See, and that's the part that's not foolish. See, this is an agenda. See, they're not doing this just for their health. Because you can believe when I say this, a lot of them don't like the fact that Bruce Jenner did what he did either. You can believe that. But they would rather put him or her now, over others without a blink of an eye. See,
hey, Coach.
Yes.
Rap God says something very interesting before you go on. I know you'll chime in. Rap God says Bruce Jenner didn't even support the LGBT causes. You're correct. He was very conservative,
Hmm.
but he put on a dress, and all of a sudden, he's a great person. Right.
Never talked about, never once came up in any conversations, except mainstream conversations. In the background, it did because I saw some of those. Is what kind of effect this was having on his family, his wife at the time, his kids, when he made this change. See, they supported him. I'm not against. Just so y'all understand, I'm not against him being who he want to be. Be who you want to be. This isn't about. We're not talking about Caitlyn Jenner because of Caitlyn Jenner. We're talking about Caitlyn Jenner because of the system. We're talking about Caitlyn Jenner because which the attention, the support, the acknowledgement that she received, LeVar Ball should have received, and should still be receiving it. Kyrie Irving's daddy should receive it. John's father should be receiving it. See, that's what we're saying. So don't get it twisted here. We ain't bashing nobody except the system that perpetuates this division and all of this nonsense that they peddle at us that they call right, which is as wrong as rain. What you think, Rev?
Coach, I hear y'all talking about, but I can't even. I think my views are so extreme on it. I don't even think it's proper for me to speak on Bruce Jenner. I mean, like somebody's alluding to in the chat, in the comment section, this person's a murderer, man. He's a murderer. You know what I'm saying? I might say something else that offends people, like Joe Biden, like some people in Joe Biden's cabinet, straight murderers. But they give you these false idols to worship. They give you these false idols to worship, and it's an absolute point. What did it do to those children? I remember watching Kim Kardashian's Netflix special with David Letterman. And she was talking about the day that she found out about Bruce Jenner's situation. I don't know if you brothers had a chance to see that, but she was talking.
I saw it, Rev.
Yeah, I got. That's why I'm quiet, because it's just it's so messed up, man. Because Kim is not a person that shows a lot of anything beneath the surface. She's been so MK Ultra Hollywood that it's hard to know when everything is advertisement for social media, or is it really her? Is it a scheme by her and Kanye to promote something, or is it her? But this one story allowed me to see the humanity that lies beneath the surface of all of that plastic. She said she came in the garage, she went to the house, and he was in there, and she was so afraid of what she saw, all she could do is run home to her mother, because she didn't know what else to do. And that's the kind of trauma. It's so traumatic that, like DJ was alluding to on Twitter, people are afraid to have an opinion. Well, I can't be afraid to have an opinion, God damn it. I can't I can't go down with the beast, man. I mean, and once again, I gotta say it for what it is. These are my thoughts. This is not DJ or coaches. But I can't be allowed to have my mind manipulated and start seeing things that aren't there just because they tell me it's there. How do you skip over all of the mothers and fathers in sports, period, that have done so much to reward a murderer that won't even commit to what they saying they are? But this is how the system manipulates us. And this is what we talk about a lot of times with the game, within the game. When they do things like start these narratives. See, putting certain people on the screen is something called predictive programming. They know that we live in a herd society with a herd mentality. So if they put these things in front of you, then it must be okay. I watched the draft and I studied it that night. Of course, we know about LeVar getting whiteballed. They didn't allow him and Melo to do an interview. We know about that. But something else I watched, just about every father that was on the draft, especially African-American father, they acted like they weren't even there. The mothers would be sitting in the front. The father would be sitting off to the side like a poodle. The girlfriend in the middle. And the father was rarely acknowledged. But this is the mentality that they have made cool because the number one agenda is to make masculinity a threat. Certain masculinity is a threat. So it's difficult for me to even speak on Bruce Jenner because I don't have a filter for it. So that's why I'm sitting back and I'm listening, and y'all brothers is hitting on every point. It really saddened me. Like, I was sad for Kim when I heard that story because everyone is saying, okay, what about Bruce's psychological makeup and respecting Bruce? Well, shit, what about Kim? She didn't ask to be drawn into that. She didn't ask to have to keep a secret from her mom about her stepfather. But these are the kind of situations that we're putting on children daily. So I'm glad we're giving flowers to fathers, and I'm glad we're speaking up about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it is something that is becoming taboo in this day and age to give fathers the credits, the real fathers, the credit they deserve.
Excellent points, my brothers. Excellent points. Rev mentioned this. I'll take it a little bit there. I think this was a time a little bit pre Bruce Jenner putting on a dress days. He killed a man in a hit and run or something like that.
Facts.
And then all of a sudden he comes out in the dress and it's all hunky-dory. It's a game within the game of life. Forget the court of life. See, Bruce, he was smart. He knows how the system works. So all I have to do is put on a dress and they'll back off. Usually people would be locked up in prison when they hit or run teenagers. For those who didn't know, it was some young teenagers that he killed. Didn't even get arrested. This is the complexion for the protection. No matter if you're a white businessman, and it's not just white, people with power can get away with some deep, dark-ish. They know the ins and out of America. And when they, what's crazy, when they talked about it in the news, TMZ or whatever celebrity site, They said it was a normal thing. Unfortunately, Bruce Jenner hit and ran a pedestrian. They didn't make it, and they died. That's what they said.
Wow.
That's what they said. We'll give you more on the details. No handcuffs? At least hold them in precinct until the facts came out? None of that. He was able to walk. That is the complexion of protection. Exhibit A.
Hmm. You know, this thing here really, touches me because I'm gonna tell you, I remember when I was in high school and my second dad, as I spoke about earlier, I was his one of his assistants and the manager of the basketball team. I didn't play basketball growing up. I played football. I owned teams. I played football and tennis and stuff like that. And because I was never really tall and all that. So um, I remember after games when we would beat certain teams, and I would go with him and while he would talk to the reporters. And invariably, almost always, if we beat a white team playing their style, it was always some left-handed compliment or some question that would come out where they would try to make him feel guilty for beating the team with their style. Because we were supposed to be running around and jumping around like monkeys in their mind, not playing cerebrally, not with our minds. And he used to make Coach so mad. And it was this one particular reporter, I'll never forget. And he used to wear a pink hat with a feather in it. I'll never forget it. And clearly his issue was with masculinity, black male masculinity. Clearly. And every time I saw LeVar Ball go through the stuff that he go through and hear these media heads, whether they white or black, whoever they are, because they all apologists for the system when they get a check from them. When I heard the vitriol thrown at him, the nonsensicalness of it, and repeating it like it's real, like this is a real thing. He said his son could beat Curry. Really? I was like, wow. It brought up those times to me, and I'm like, wow, this has not changed. And all of these years, decades, this has not changed. It's the same. I had a relative of mine telling that I was talking to about my show and stuff, and I was telling him about the balls and stuff. He said, and I mentioned it a little early. He said, I don't like LeBron Ball. I said, where do you, I asked him, this family member man, I said, what do you know about LeBron Ball? You don't even live in California. You live back there. You live back home. I mean, Chicago. What do you know about LeVar Ball? Well, I was watching him on Shannon. Oh, that makes sense. Skip and Shannon show. Oh, makes sense. That's when you were watching it. So you don't like him based on their show. So then we started talking about it, and he found out that he's got some things in common with LeVar in terms of raising his kids and so forth and so on, and being a real supportive dad. Because my nephew plays football, and my brother's always there with him. It's like, wow. He finally had to say, well, wait a minute. Why would they? He asked me, why would they? do that? I said, because they have an agenda, the same way they have an agenda to keep you from having your business. You an entrepreneur, got your own business. How much hell have you caught just on the GP because of who you are from the establishment? A lot, exactly. I said, well, what do you think he gonna catch when he's trying to get his foot in the door against Nike and Adidas and Puma and all these other ones?
Hey, Coach, let me read this real quick. I know
Yeah.
you about to cook.
No, go
Junior
ahead.
Ad Thump. He says, love new media, but bro, Coach got to go. He just likes hearing himself talk. And every time he comes up in the stream, I leave the stream. Just one man's opinion. Well, we just know that's cap because Coach Joe is the OG of new media.
That's
And
trash, man.
if you looked at the numbers of the video he did, I could say he's doing really well. So I don't think your numbers back that claim. Coach Joe is a wise man. He's a man that demands respect. And maybe if we respect our elders, the world would be a better place. Again, it's your opinion, but Coach Joe's family. And anytime Coach Joe, every time I needed something, Coach Joe was there. He never fiddled around. He never said, oh, well, I don't know. Coach Joe is a great man. And I'm proud that he's part of new media. That's all I would say on that.
Well, thank you, DJ. I appreciate it. And I saw the comment by whoever that was that said that, and I just want them to know that they're entitled to their opinion. And I got another one for them too. If every time I come on you leave, well then fucking leave then. How about that? Okay, because you don't know nothing about me, nothing about what I've been through, nothing about what I know. I've been around a lot of people. I've seen a lot of things. And I'm telling the truth about what's really going on. So if you don't like to hear the truth and it hurts your little sensitive ears because you want to have an opportunity to talk and you can't talk, so you want to hate on somebody who has a platform, I get it. Fine. Then kick rocks. This ain't for you. See, you ain't gonna belittle nobody on this panel and talk down to anybody on this panel. Your fingers do the walking. If you don't want to be a part of new media, if you don't want to know what's going on, you don't want to hear the truth, then put cotton in your ears and kick rocks. Because if you ain't got nothing constructive to say and you're not adding to the conversation, then who cares? And back to what we were talking about before we got interrupted by a troll trying to come in here just so they can be heard. Instead of saying something clever, instead of saying something that makes sense, instead of adding to the conversation, whether you agree or disagree, you want to come in and throw shade as if you could even walk a day in my shoes. You don't know nothing about me, son, and the path that I've been on. See, I've been blessed in my life to have a lot of wonderful, amazing brothers and sisters show up in my life to support me and to help me and to be there for me. And they never taught me to be a hater. And that's what DJ was talking about. For those that don't understand, this is a divine appointment. Me, DJ, Rev, and me. The Most High put this together. See, that's why we're here. That's why the synergy is so amazing here. See, so if you don't want to hear me and you don't like hearing what I have to say, I understand. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But just like you push the button to be here, you can push the button to not be here. And I'm going to pass.
I see more and more of that happening. And congratulations, DJ, and congratulations, Coach. That just lets you know that you're starting to ruffle some feathers. And if you ain't making trouble as a black man in America, you ain't doing your job. I spoke on this last night, man. That's corny, man. That's corny, man. The divisiveness is corny. And they're used to that with COINTELPRO. They're used to pitting brothers against each other because that's really what that is. What they try to do is attack egos. But Coach has shown you, and DJ has shown you, that they're not men of egos. If you listen to their story, if you listen to the reason why they do this, obviously they're not men of ego. When I see comments like that, shout out to everybody that supports. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that supports and does their thing. But when I see comments isolating me or singling me out, bro, I look at it for what it is. I'm gonna just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? Coach, and I know you're gonna keep doing your thing, but keep pushing forward. Keep bringing the message the way you bring the message. Bring the fire the way the Most High wanted you to bring the fire, because you have added an element of wisdom. An element of wisdom. Some people don't live long enough to gain wisdom. You know, wisdom is not something that is just bestowed upon anyone. You got people that's 70 running around still have no wisdom. So I really don't like that. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You know, the brothers on this panel are united. The brothers and sisters in new media are united. But I'm just telling y'all keep coming in here doing stuff like that. That's corny, and it's not gonna work. We've seen you do it to our predecessors. We've seen you split up great nations and great movements in our community by doing similar things. It's not gonna work on this model. But moving forward, yeah, this is a heavy topic, DJ. It's a heavy topic, and it goes so deep, and it goes so deep, and it goes so deep. It's almost like somebody made a comment saying the feminist movement is ruining the world. Well, we got to stop classifying the little devil and not calling out the big devil. See, because the women's movement, I mean, the women's lib movement really only has effect on men they consider don't have political power in this world or power to move the needle. When it comes to the Eiffel Tower, the women's lib movement means nothing. We just got rid of a president that just told a bunch of women in the middle of the Me Too movement that I'm going to grab you by your... So that's a farce. It's just a tool to destroy you. It's not even real women's lib. When I think of women's lib, I think about Shahrazad Ali. I think of Angela Davis. I think of Assata Shakur. I think of strong sisters, strong queens that were liberated. And they were able to perform tasks that brothers were performing. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's liberation. Not somebody who tells you who you can claim accosted you versus, nah, you can't do nothing to him. I used to hear stories when we first came here about brothers and sisters and their fathers having to sneak into the homes because their mothers were on Section 8. This is how the black father has been treated in this country. A pariah, to the point where they will reward a mother for keeping the father out of the household. What kind of system is that? What kind of system will reward that? What kind of system is built to destroy a family nucleus? But at the same time, the same system will tell you But this family, you respect this nucleus. Don't have an opinion on that. But this other family, if I catch him in the house, you're losing everything. These are the tactics that these people are willing to play. This is why we barely see John Morant's father on TV. John Morant doesn't even say the boisterous thing. He says it. He just says it lower. He doesn't say the bombastic things that LeVar says. You still can barely get an interview with John's father because they want to keep him hidden. They want us to go with the old narrative that the black father is not in the household. And if he is in the household, don't trust him. Be wary of him. These are the games that they play. These are the games that they play, and these are the games we're going to expose tonight.
I want to just say this real quick, Rev. DJ, well, hold 1 second, please. That's why, guys, for myself, when I'm out in public, grocery store, the mall, do whatever I'm doing. When I see a black man with his kids, I always say something to him. Always. I see you there. I see you there. I see you, Dad. If it's a girl, I see you with the princess. If it's a boy, I see you with the champ. I see you doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. The smiles, people love to hear that. The smiles I get from brothers. Because they feel like they're not being seen. See, the narrative is we're not there. But I see them everywhere. I see brothers everywhere with their kids. Especially since this COVID thing has been going on. And people are for a long time, were only going to certain places, the essentials. People weren't working. So I see many brothers with their kids walking down the streets, at the stores, whatever. And I always say something to them, encouraging, to let them know that I see you. You are seen. And it's a good thing. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to be acknowledged. Go ahead, DJ.
Coach Maurice Hamrick is asking us about the classic movie Hoop Dreams. And I think you're talking about Arthur A.J. and William Gates. I grew up watching that movie a lot. I used to watch that movie almost every day. I got to clear up some inaccuracies that you're saying, brother, but let me read Adam Hearns' super chat real quick. Didn't Michael Jordan say his role model growing up was his father? Very regrettable that Kobe and Bean never fully reconciled. Well, I'm not going to speak on the Kobe and Bean situation because I don't know what happened in their personal life towards the end, so I'm not going to speculate on that. And yes, Michael Jordan did say that on The Last Dance. And not Maurice Hamrick, Maurice Brown, I'm sorry. He said, please watch Hoop Dreams. It shows the difference in having a dad in the home and not having a dad in the home. Those two young men never lived up to their potential. Now they are nowhere to be found. Okay, so that's not accurate. I can't speak on William Gates and his father. I think his father passed away before Hoop Dreams was even filmed. But as far as Bo AG, the brother had some issues and some demons he was battling. But from my understanding, if you watch Hoop Dreams 2, which follows Patrick Beverly and Arthur Agee being a mentor to Patrick Beverly, it tells you that Arthur Agee, and I knew this, he went to Arkansas State, which was overachieving for Arthur Agee. Arthur Agee was never supposed to be, after he left St. Joseph's, he wasn't supposed to be like this star player. He actually went and played D1. Also, Bo Agee ended up getting a church, from my understanding. He was the pastor there until the day he passed away. And he ended up cleaning his life, and he was in Arthur's life. So that's not true. That's not true. You see what I'm saying? That's not true, but that's how they want the narrative to go. Bo Agee was murdered because Bo Agee was basically running a store out of the back of his garage, brother trying to be an entrepreneur, and some people allegedly either set him up with a hit and killed him, or they were trying to rob him and they killed him. But on Hoop Dreams 2, even though Arthur had issues with his father when he was young, because he saw his father fight through those demons. It made him the man who he was. And he said, since my father passed on Hoop Dreams 2, he said, since he has passed, I feel like I lost a piece of myself. Because this is a, what'd you say, Coach?
Wow.
Yeah, he did. And this is a brother that saw his father fight those demons. So to see his father overcome those demons and still succumb to the streets of Chicago, it was devastating for the brother, but it also built him up. And that's when he went and bought the name Hoop Dreams and started his own clothing line. And he has a lot of entrepreneurial ventures that he does. He also, I want to say they were at the Independent Film Festival about 2 years ago, talking about Hoop Dream 2 and talking about, I think, 30 years of Hoop Dreams. And Arthur Agee is like, he's a businessman, you know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, as far as a basketball player, he overachieved. The coach from St. Joe's chose William Gates because William Gates was the more finished prospect at that age. Arthur was a little undersized. But by the time the senior year came around, Arthur shot up to 6'3", and he was taken. I can't think of the name of the school. Same school that Patrick Beverly went through, Marshall. He took Marshall downstate. So I think Arthur Agee turned out almost as good as you can in a situation and environment like he grew up in Cabrini Greens. But Coach, did you want to speak on that?
No, you said it perfectly, Rev. I mean, wow, I couldn't have. You hit all the buttons, my brother. You hit all of them. Because I'm from, because I know people who know them, and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm from Chicago, so
Right.
But yeah, you said it beautifully, man.
And Maurice, I wasn't saying that to come at you or anything like that, brother. It's just they do leave part one like Bo was just gonna be messed up for the rest of his life. And the people that shot part two are not the same people that shot part one. I think Arthur Agee financed part two. So those are the tricks they play. Those are the games they play. They make you feel like, oh well, these brothers, they never had this and they never had that. But really, Bo was in his son's life throughout his life. Also, even at the end of Hoop Dreams 1, it starts to show that Bo was making a change. He still was fighting demons, but he was making a change. So shout out to Arthur Agee, shout out to William Gates and the legacy they left us, and shout out to Bo Agee for even though, people go through struggles, ups and downs. That's why I don't really joke on Malik Monk and his situation. People go through struggles, ups and downs, but it's not how you start the race, it's how you finish the race. You know what I'm saying? And Bo Agee turned his life around and was there for his family, and it seems like his children love him and they miss him. So I want to give that father his flowers. So thank you for bringing up Arthur Agee and William Gates and the legendary Hoop Dreams. For anybody who has never seen Hoop Dreams, it would be difficult for you to understand inner city basketball in America without seeing that film. It is one of the most riveting and raw basketball documentaries out there. That and Soul in the Hole. And if you're not a person that lived in the inner city and didn't see this kind of lifestyle, this is probably the closest you're going to get to that era of basketball and how competitive it was. You know what I'm saying? Coach.
Yes, Rev.
Why do you think it is such a agenda? Not only fathers, because I don't want to leave it on a broad scope, because it's broad, but it's not that broad. Why is it such an agenda to destroy the black father in America?
Okay, I'm gonna get deep here. Okay, I'm gonna get deep here. What I'm about to say is gonna ruffle some feathers. Okay, and that's just how it is. But I gotta say it. My feeling, and I'm saying my feeling, what I see. I'm not saying anybody else should feel this way. Anybody else does feel this way. Anybody else should feel this way. I'm saying this is how I feel and what I see. Okay. And what I see is that a long time ago, see, history has been remixed a lot to look a certain way, to sound a certain way, when it's really not that way. It really was not that way when it happened. Okay. I believe that when Europeans went to Africa for the first time, long time ago, we have to remember that seafaring vessels back in those days, when they took long journeys to places, they had to dock, they had to repair, they had to rest before they could continue their journey. And often they mixed with the people. When Europeans first went to Europe, went to Africa and saw Black people for the first time, and Black people saw them for the first time, many of them. When they stayed for a while, and we talking a lot of times they would have to stay for months. Okay, it was not the modern world we live in to do repairs and so forth, and supplies and resupply and all these kinds of things. And so I believe that the Africans welcomed them in. I believe that the chiefs of the tribes that dealt with these people, I believe they gave them women. The men gave the men women. I know they did that in South Africa because when I went there, I learned their history. I know they did that there. And the women had babies because they were there sometimes long periods of time. And when those babies came out and those European men saw that they had been erased genetically, they knew that they were in trouble. And they knew they could not allow this to stand. I am not God. I didn't create the universe. I didn't create human beings. The presence did this. The Most High did this. You're mad about it? Go get on your knees and tell him, why did he do it this way? But he made white brothers and sisters the weakest genetic link of all the races and all the people, all the humans on the planet. And when white brothers and sisters mix, starting with us and on down the color tree, when they mix with us, they disappear. They disappear. And I believe the men were angry about that. They knew they couldn't do anything about it genetically. So I think they chose to do something about it the other way. And we have become enemy number one because genetically we are a threat to them and their ability to be on the planet. And I think that's the reason why. They know the truth. Cannot mix with them. Cannot, because if we do, we will be no more. And the other piece, I think, is after they did that, the guilt that they feel for what they did. And their guilt brought them to believing that if the tables were turned, and one day they might be turned, we will do the same thing to them that they have done to us. And guess what? Anybody that I've ever met, and I grew up in a neighborhood in Chicago with no white people in it. It was all Black people. Working class and middle class Black folks in my neighborhood. I didn't meet a white person until I went to high school. There's so much lack of understanding in this country about us and who we are as Americans. And the powers that be keep us that way because they don't want us to mix. That's what I think.
Brother, that is a deep explanation. It's a heavy explanation. It certainly is an agenda. We can't deny it. We can't deny it. Look how they did Venus and Serena's father. And to this day, they really refuse to give him his flowers. It's like you always have to vilify. I remember growing up, and I spoke on this before, and since we're speaking about fathers is relevant, I don't remember seeing a movie other than Boys in the Hood where a black father was raised up in a positive way. Furious Styles on Boys in the Hood is the only one I can think of, which is one of the dopest names of all time. Furious Styles is still legendary. But yeah, other than that, whenever there was a black father depicted on a movie, and this is where accountability and responsibility comes into play. And that's why I always say, if you have a platform, your platform is for service, is not to be worshipped as an idol. You know, a lot of our actors played into it. A lot of our producers played into it because they started to believe in that old adage of the occult, the ends justify the means. Waiting to Exhale, horror story. Black father in the household all of a sudden just gets up and wants to leave. For no reason, just wants to leave. The other black father leaves his wife because he wakes up in the middle of his life and decides that he's a homosexual. And like Coach said, that's somebody's prerogative, but it's not the point of his considered sexual orientation. The point is he left his family. He abandoned his 18-year-old son. Several movies like this. Jackson 5 movie. Horror story. They painted Joe Jackson like he was a taskmaster, like a slave master. Made him look like the worst person in the world. Waiting to Exhale. Made Ike Turner look like the worst person in the world. Whenever I'm talking to the homies in Inglewood, the OGs in Inglewood, the OCs in Inglewood, or the OCs in South Central, they tell a completely different story of Ike Turner. They talk about Ike Turner passing out money in the neighborhood, looking out for the kids in the neighborhood once he made it.
Facts.
You know, but there's so many examples. Ditch Digger's daughter. Man built a school for his daughters because the school would not accept them because of racism. They painted that father like he was the worst father on the planet. Like he was just controlling. So these are the examples that we were indoctrinated to when it came to black fathers. And this had a psychological effect on us. It had a psychological effect on our music. How many songs do you hear from rappers dedicated to fathers? You don't hear a lot. And the mothers deserve their flowers. The mothers deserve their flowers. So I don't think you have to denigrate one to uplift the other.
Facts.
But with that being said, those were not the realities of the 90s. It wasn't the reality of the early 2000s. The reality was anytime a black male was on the screen, it was a negative connotation. To the point we started to take on this propaganda in our own community. R&B started to reflect it. Every song was about some deadbeat black male. So now, black men have done a double job, triple job to destroy that narrative. And now that that's being done, it's like they followed the line from Xerxes on 300 when he told Leonidas, he said, you think you're making a sacrifice, but really all we're going to do once we win this battle is write you out of history. Now they're trying to write these fathers out of history. That's why LeVar can't sniff an interview. That's why LeVar can't get any pub. That's why they can't give Melo any credit, like Coach always says. because once you see the anomaly, you're going to go and want to find out what the source is. Look at Bruce Lee and Ip Man. No one knew when I was growing up that Bruce Lee had some legendary master. But because of his legend and his genius and his brilliance with Jeet Kune Do, we wanted to understand the origins. So we ended up finding about Wing Chun, and we found out about Ip Man. That would be the same thing with LeVar Ball, because he's created a blueprint. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not undersell what LeVar has done. He has cracked the matrix. He has cracked the basketball matrix. He has them letting high school players in the G League. NCAA think about paying money to the players now. That does not happen without LeVar Ball. That man is going to go down as a martyr for the culture, similar to one Kurt Flood. So we can't undersell the magnitude. We always get caught up in the sports, and we always get caught up with the undercourt mess. Forget all of that. If them boys don't dribble another dribble in the NBA, what their father did was one of the most revolutionary things I've seen in my lifestyle. In my lifetime. And we got to stop underselling it.
What's good, my brothers? What's good?
Facts, Rev.
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, I had to handle some business real quick, but man, Coach Joe and Rev,
DJ, can I say something right now before I forget it?
Yeah.
I want to say something about what Rev said. Rev, not only what you just enumerated, he did. LeVar Ball put in the minds of black people and black men and young black men about having your own business and doing your own business.
Facts.
See, he did that as well. Dr. King got assassinated for doing that. My boy in my neighborhood over here was taken out for doing that. Let me share something with y'all so y'all will understand the gravity of what we're talking about. I ask my people all the time when I'm out and about, I say, who is the richest black person in America? They say Oprah, Michael Jordan. You know, they name celebrities because that's what we're taught, that the only way that you can make it is if you're a celebrity or an athlete. It's the only way you can have that kind of money. For many of our kids, they believe that's the only way that money can come. See, most don't know who the richest black person is. I'm going to tell you who he is. His name is Robert Smith. He's in the money game. And he's the brother, for y'all that might know some of his works, he's the one whose video went viral about maybe a year ago, where he was at Morehouse College doing a commencement speech, and at the end of his speech, he said he was going to pay for every student loans, every graduate student loan. He announced it. Everybody lost their minds. Student, hats in the air, and the administrators in the back, you should see the faces on them people like, what are they gonna do? What? Robert Smith. And let me tell you what Robert Smith is in the news for right now, if you look him up. He's in the news right now for pleading guilty to hiding money in overseas accounts. Had to pay a big fine. Where would a black man learn how to hide money, millions and billions of dollars? How? How would they learn how to do that? Well, I'm going to tell you where he learned it. He learned it at Goldman Sachs, one of the biggest investment banks in the country. See, Robert Smith's story is that he didn't come on the money game. His parents were educators. He came from Colorado. His parents were educators. He went into engineering, got an engineering degree. And then at a party, met a OG from the financial game that said to him, hey, you should come over here. Do a lateral move over here and do this because you'd be great at it. Next thing you know, he's with Goldman Sachs. He becomes a vice president at Goldman Sachs. Next thing you know, he is bringing in all kinds
new clients and stuff, leaves them and opens up his own shop and monetizes software companies, and nobody was doing that until he started doing it at Vista, name of his company. But where did he learn the money game from? He learned it from the money people, Goldman Sachs. That's where he learned it. Where did he learn tax shelters and places to hide money in offshore accounts? Where did he learn that from? He learned it from them. But yet, when he gave that money out, I told my family, I said, y'all, watch. They coming after this brother now. Mark my words. He out here doing stuff, and they don't like when we doing this kind of stuff. That's why a lot of the money people who have made money, black people who have made money, don't tell none of us how they make it. They make us think like it came out of air. It's magic or something. When these are tools and systems to grow money that they know about, but they won't tell because they're afraid that something may happen to them. Because that's the narrative. That's the truth. That's what did happen to them. That's what happened to us in Oklahoma. When they bombed us out in Oklahoma, when we had Black Wall Street. In the 20s, family, a whole community full of self-sustaining black folks doing business, all kinds of business, cleaners and doctors' offices and banks and all kinds of stuff. Thriving. The white people in Oklahoma got jealous and didn't like it. Made up something. Next thing you know, here they come with helicopters. Here they come with planes and weapons and destroyed the whole community. Killed over 300 people. And what was their crime? Being successful. That was their crime. Being black in America and being successful at the games that they invented. See, ain't nobody gonna talk nonsense to me. I know what the truth is. I know what's going on here. And most of us don't want to hear it. I got something for y'all. I got something for all of us. All y'all want to think. I got something for you to think about. Think about this. In America, name me one institution, one organization that helps people become garbage men in America. Be a second to type. Garbage man. Who the hell wants to be a garbage man? But somehow we continue to find garbage men. One of the most important jobs in any country, collecting trash so that we don't have diseases and other things. Very important. I've never heard anybody that I was growing up with or any of my children's friends ever say, when I grow up, I want to be a garbage man. But somehow we keep, the country keeps supplying cities, towns, municipalities with garbage men. But yet there's no advertising for it. Nobody in school. Nowhere in school does it tell you that you can learn to be a garbage man. But we have garbage. Why? Because the system that we don't see and most of us don't pay attention to knows where to get the garbage men from. And they continue to get the garbage men from pretty much the same place, the inner cities. Because nobody would say they want to be a garbage man growing up. Because it's not something that we cherish or we talk about in this country as being something that's honorable. So the same way those slots are available, because they know who's going to retire, how long they're going to be around. They know each year how many new ones they're going to need. See, that's the system. So the question to me is this. since this is happening and nobody really knows it's happening, but we know it's happening, how is it happening? I'm going to tell you how it's happening. Because during slavery days, white supremacy and slavery created a system and created a job called cooning, which is they would get one of our people to agree to hurt the other people. And they'll give them a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. See, Django talked about that. Samuel L. Jackson, Jamie Foxx. See, they created that slot that if you come over here and work for us and do what we tell you to keep your people down, then you'll get, we'll give you something else. We'll give you more food. We'll give you clothes. We'll give you things. So now here we are, 2021. We got many of them right now in this country. We got black men and black women that will stand up and fight against reparations for us. Say we don't need it because they are part of the coon class. They know that if they stand up and say what we saying tonight, they're afraid of what's gonna happen to them. And I'm gonna end on this one. There's a video, go on YouTube and you'll find it, of a congressman from Detroit. I can't think of his name right now. And some young brothers cornering him at the Capitol, videotaping and asking him, look, you going up in that building there where you work, you know the game. Why you not coming back telling us? Why you not helping us? Why you not giving us game? You go in there and y'all pass them laws and y'all do all this stuff and money changes hands and all this, and you never come back and tell us nothing. Why? We put you in there. You come from our neighborhood. We voted for you. Why you keep them secrets to just you and your family? That's what's going on in this country. I'll pass.
Coach, to piggyback off that, you know why they do it? Keep secrets, and even our own won't even give us game or advice. They're living in the quote unquote domineering program. And what that is they feel obligated that if they know the most information within the community, they feel obligated not to share. They feel like if they share, someone will do better than them. We deal with this in everyday life. Shoot, it happens on this very own site that we're on right now. But it's really sad that we have all this talent, all this ability, overcame so much. You're right, Adam Hearn, gatekeepers. There's a gatekeeper in every job, every place you go to. There's always someone who has to wrangle the folks. And I won't say that word on this channel, but y'all know what I mean. We call that I'll say N, and it ends with grow, wranglers. The wranglers are worse than the gatekeepers because they start spilling in lies that we know is not true. But a couple of village idiots will pick it up because it came from their mouth. This is all a game, man. But it's a game within the game. Y'all got to remember that. Shout out to Brett Law. He says this stream was goated. It is. You're not going to hear it anywhere else. You know why? People are scared to be real. I was raised upon real. When you live with a purpose and a joy, and you're just focused on living, and you know when your time comes that you're satisfied, that's when you're going to get most truth. I'm so happy with doing YouTube and meeting these brothers on the panel and being around like-minded folks that I don't worry about negativity if I speak my truth and the truth that I see what's going on. I'm very confident. And I'm not even worried about it because I know what the game is. You was gonna say something, Coach?
No, I was just listening to you, my brother, because
Okay.
you hitting the nail on the head. You're hitting the nail on the head. It's time out for this. See,
Right.
see, see. I'm not saying this just for. I want people to understand me very clearly. I'm not saying this just for my people. Okay, I'm saying this for white brothers and sisters too, because the illusion that they're under to keep this illusion going is having a very detrimental effect on them. Very detrimental effect on them. See,
Real as it gets. Shout out to J&J Video. She says deep. It is, man. We gotta take this serious, man. No matter who you are. I don't know what type of pill y'all take, but y'all gotta take the truth pill. It is the only way to set you free. The truth pill. Man,
DJ. I think about like sometimes, right? I think about Black Wall Street. I read a lot about it and stuff. And the people there stuck together and stuff. That's how they were able to build all those things and do all those things together. And I think about today, right? We got all these people that we know about in this country that a lot of business people, right? A lot of them making money and doing this. You look at, why are we not coming together? I mean, we have enough successful people in this country to have I said this to Puffy one day. I said, Puff, you're a businessman. You're a businessman. I said to somebody some years ago. I said, you're a businessman, Puff. I said, why won't you get your friends together and y'all create a business class to help us? And he looked at me and smiled, and he didn't say nothing. Because I knew what the smile was. See? That's why this channel is here, because James Baldwin said in Fire Next Time in the 60s, a black man being aware in America is like being in a rage. See, and that's me as well. I'm a radical.
So you said something right there, Coach. You said something. You said something heavy. In the chat page, and a few other people are having some interesting conversations. I won't speak on them on the channel, but that's interesting what y'all are talking about. I would just say do more research. Just do more research. It's not necessarily about how you feeling. It's about what you wanted. So just read between the lines on that one. Access is the name of the game. Access for information is the name of the game. Information is the name of the game. Information is the name of the game in this day and age. Information is worth more than money. I tell people all the time, if you have a platform, if you have a certain amount of followers on Instagram, trust me, I know, it could be worth more than the physical dollar. If you have enough information to flip that. Coach said something that was so deep, man. Why can't we come together? Why don't we come together? There's something called the boule. It's something called the boule. And it literally translates to the gatekeepers for the king. We don't come together because we have been taught, like you always speak against, Coach. We have been taught that money is what's going to free us. Money is the end all. Success is the end all. If you become successful enough, then you can be like. The dirty little secret that no one really likes to say is a lot of people don't want liberation in our community. They want assimilation. That's my problems with the civil rights movement. It was never enough. If you got to tell somebody you're equal from their position, you're not equal, because you wouldn't have to tell me, because you would have shown me. Now take that for what it's worth. So a lot of brothers and sisters, they feel like, okay, I go to college, I get my degree, I got a nice white collar job, I'm in the tech industry, I can go on vacation whenever I want to, I can post these pictures on Instagram. God damn it, I'm an American. I'm in a great situation. I'm not going to mess that up. See, what they realized was removing the slave chains is the smartest thing they ever did. Like they talked about on The Matrix. I think it was The Matrix Reloaded, when the architect was talking to the anomaly being Neo, and he was saying what we realized with the first Matrix was that when you force people to do something, then they always will rise up. But if you give them things, in the newer models, they gave them a bliss. But the bliss was no substance. There was nothing real behind the bliss. Like those vacations, as soon as you're done with them, you're going right back to the slave that you were working before. Even deeper now, you got to make up for that time you lost and make more money. And now the company feels like, okay, we gave you this, so now you're more indebted. We don't get together because we are afraid to lose what we got, because we remember where we came from. That's why it's okay for our celebrities or the people with the platforms to sell us out, because at the end of the day, they get into the money. I mean, this is how they think. Would you do something that risk your family and risk your life or risk your well-being when all you got to do is become a capitalist and now you're part of the old boys club? But you're not. That's the dirty secret. You're not. Like the professor from Harvard the professor from Howard found out, Brother Gates. Like the other brother found out, I can't think of his name, plays up in Minnesota. He found out. Like several athletes have found out. Like several successful people have found out. We don't come together because we feel like, and it's sad, we feel like the struggle is over. That was the smartest thing they did, was remove the slave chains and just replace slave chains with materialism. Because once you become a materialist and materialism becomes your religion, then anything you could do to keep not going back to poverty, you'll do it. And if me shunning my people is what's going to keep me in a comfortable situation, well, they'll do it. And that's why when the going got hot on Nick Cannon, he sold us down the road. That's why Jay-Z sold us down the road. I'm going to tell it like it really is. They do this. That's why Dwayne Wade's selling us down the road. They do. You don't think these brothers know if they say certain things to appease certain people, they're going to get an endorsement deal, or it's going to put them in a situation where they get more stuff, because that's all they get is stuff. Like you said, brother, they're not in that Goldman Sachs class. All the names we name, even the richest brother in America is not in that Goldman Sachs class. He's not.
Facts.
He's not. Because even though the hashtag, the catchphrase when I was in high school was religion is this and religion is that, these people are very, very religious. And they believe in a lot weirder stuff if I said it on here, y'all wouldn't even believe me. But the game was, okay, we're going to get everybody to move away from religion, and we're going to replace law with the court of public opinion. So now the religion becomes money, or now the religion becomes materialism, and the religion becomes these other things that we can provide. So if we can provide them, we can withhold them. So you better get in line. So once you get your platform, Kodak Black, you better have a ring that says Team Trump or Trump Gang. Because see, it doesn't mean anything right now, but subliminally, for the young ones behind us, if it's cool for Kodak, it's cool for me. And you start seeing this, generation after generation, the assimilation, and the assimilation only leads to more oppression. That's why brothers can't come together and work together. And when one does come together and work together, like our beloved brother Nipsey, man, I can get deep. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah, Rev, you know, we cooking tonight, boy. You know, we giving them a lot tonight, I think. DJ, what you think?
Forget a cookout. This is a bonfire, man. This, yeah, this is a damn bonfire up in here. It is. You brothers.
See, for me, DJ, this is how hard I'm willing to fight for LaMelo to be treated decently. So now many of y'all can understand now. Maybe have a better understanding. This is why you hear the passion in me. I am not going to stand by and watch none of these people screw this kid over. And I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to take a stand. I'm not going to do nothing. That ain't going to happen. Because I know what he is. And I don't need them to validate him and tell me what he is. I know what he is. And that kid needs our protection.
Facts.
And I'm giving him mine. I'm giving his daddy and mama mine. See, I can't think of nobody to support with my chest out other than more than the Ball family. As much as that man put on the line for us to show us that we could be more, that we could do more, that we could stand up and be and not have to cower. This man told Donald Trump, I don't need nothing from you, and sent him some shoes. That's boss move right there. That's a man ain't scared. And I respect that. I got love for that.
Coach,
so for y'all think, many of y'all think this isn't about LaMelo, not about the balls. It is. Okay, it's just a game within the game. Go ahead, DJ. I'm sorry.
No, you good, man. They already started with the All-Star voting. I know they're not trying to sit up here and lie to us and tell us that LaMelo did not get more than 200,000 votes. They're not going to fool me with that bull crap. You do the math, you do the popularity. LaMelo got some riders. He got some soldiers. Whenever I do a video not with LaMelo Ball, guess what questions they asking me about LaMelo Ball? So if they're doing that every day, and they're doing that to other channels, they must think we're some damn fools to think that LaMelo didn't get enough votes. If the NBA was just real and just said, since LaMelo did not get the numbers from the beginning of the season, he cannot be an all-star. Just do that instead of trying to fool fans. But they're not going to do that. You know why? The league is a bunch of liars. All that social justice bullcrap they was talking about, that was election season. They wanted to get somebody out the White House. And you guys fall for the okie doke and thought the NBA was a progressive league, which is not. A bunch of damn liars. Oh, and for the brothers and sisters who thought they were going to get their student loan forgiveness, remember that 50K student loan they promised? Well, it looks like it's not happening. See, if we do for self instead of having politicians, believing in politicians, every single word, maybe we can grow something. A better America, a better place. But some of y'all are still the matrix. After these 4 years, you're going to do the same ish that you was doing before. Believing in politics, like Brett Law says. The game of politics. It's in basketball. It's in sports. It's in politics. Politics is a recurring thing. I mean, you could choose to wake up or you could just sit down. That's what my father used to tell us. Son, you could choose to wake up or you could sit where you at. Sit comfortable. I'm going to tell you something about me. You know why I move around quickly and I'm always active? I don't like sitting down. I don't like getting too comfortable. Because the moment I'm comfortable, the moment time passes me by. It's not a bad thing to not get too comfortable. You think. When your mind is thinking constantly, you become a better version of yourself. You become more enlightened, helpful, giving people knowledge that they never heard before. Brett Law says big facts. Politics and money honestly runs the world. That's what runs the world. You know what's going to be happening next? After the lies that wasn't promised, there's going to be another war that we shouldn't be in. And really a war is, this is what today's meaning of a war is. You go into a country that doesn't want you around and you evade their whole structure and take over. That's really what it is, and take their resources like the pirates did back in the day. Now, y'all don't want me to be too serious now, right? Because it's late night and I got the time. We still do the same things that pirates would do, raiders back in the savage days, Vikings, but it's more modern. Don't believe me? Remember the Iraq War? Remember they was trying to find weapons of mass destruction. Well, those jokers couldn't even find a firecracker. They couldn't find a blowtorch or a firecracker. But you know what they did get, right? Oil. And I'll close my case.
And you know what, DJ? They got that and more. Okay.
Right.
I'm a former Marine family. Sir.
Hey, Coach, your mic.
Oh, shucks. I'm gonna have to come in and out. Right back.
You said it, DJ. You said it. All they found was oil. All that talk of yellow cake and things of that nature, and all they found was oil.
Mm-hmm.
And how many young brothers and sisters were sent to die, man?
For some damn oil.
I'm back.
And Brett Law, Brett Law said something funny. He said, "Man, DJ, don't say that. You've been predicting the truth too much lately." Oh man, I want to be wrong most time. I tell Coach and Rev this all the time. There's days I wish I was wrong, but the truth is so revealing, man. I have to say it. I was not raised by a yes man or a yes woman. So when I see something, when I feel something to be true, I say it. But yeah, it's when you know the truth, it hurts your spirit, but it makes you more aware of situations to know that innocent brothers and sisters lost their lives over a power play. It's disheartening, man. Like in Vietnam back in the day, my uncle would tell me that they would go to these gyms and recruit, and they would tell teenagers of all kinds, all colors, all races, everything, why they're going to Vietnam. They would tell them the same playbook for democracy. That was a lie. They went to Vietnam to change somebody else's government into the American government. That's all it was. If you don't know your past, you will not know your future. I just wanted to leave off by that. Any last words, Coach?
I just want to say that I appreciate everybody in the chat for coming in and giving up their time and their efforts. Without you guys, it wouldn't be what it is. And so I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate you, Rev, so much for being just a G. You know what I'm saying? Just being a G and just standing up and saying, where you coming from, what you see. Appreciate you so much because I know that you got a lot of more to say. I know that. And DJ, man, you just, brother, just wow, providing to provide this space, man, to create this space, to be able for us to be able to come here and do this, to be real, to talk from the heart. Wow, that's rare. So I thank you again, my brother, profusely again. And I'm gonna close with this. As a young man, I joined the Marine Corps trying to get away from home because there wasn't a lot of options. So I joined the Marine Corps. Little did I know I was joining one of the biggest gangs in the world. And I learned how to gangbang on a global scale. And I just want to say that for those out there who have hope and believe that things can be better, I'm one of them. I believe they can be better. But I believe they can only be better if we link up, hold hands, metaphorically and literally, and stand together for what's right and what's righteous. And don't maybe not demonize the other side too much. Give them a little bit of their own medicine, but maybe not too much because this system is being run by a whole lot of folk that are whose hands are in this. But the people who are really in charge, it's a few of them. It ain't a whole lot. And we can overcome that. And so that's what to me new media is about. It's taking another chip out the wall of nonsense, of all the stuff that we enumerated today. So thank you guys, and until next time, I appreciate you.
Right on, man. Right on. Have a blessed day, everyone. Be on the lookout for Coach Joe's latest video. It's going to be a banger. Trust me. Peace.